So this is the Oster 5-quart air fryer that I purchased for about $100, and you'll see how I made fried lobster with this air fryer. You're going to see the list of everything this air fryer can actually cook up, including the last part, which I find very interesting, which is to dehydrate as well. I chose this air fryer because it matches my appliances and the look of my kitchen. But you're going to see the front, the sides, and also the top portion where it actually functions as a heating element for a plate or something that you would place on top. All right, folks, I love this part here. This basket detaches from the base, so that way you can easily clean these two portions. But look at that mesh on top. You can place your food on top, and that way your food is not sitting in the grease or the juices and becoming soggy. Now on to the most important feature of this air fryer, and it's the ability to cook all different sorts of foods. So the power button, and then you select your different foods, from the fries to the shrimp to the chicken to the steak, and then also the last one, which is dehydrating foods as well. But you can also go ahead and select your temperature, lower that or higher that, as well as the timing. You can cook it for a shorter time, you can cook it for a longer time, and you have your options to select that there. Now the great thing is you can also purchase this. I'm going to include a link on the bottom in the description where you are able to purchase this from Amazon and have it shipped directly to you. And I have to tell you, I don't have anything to compare this with, but they all seem to be similar in style. I like the 5-quart because it does hold a lot more foods, and that's what I want. I want the ability to hold more foods, so I'm not jamming or crowding all my foods in this one basket. Okay, let's get cooking. All right, I made this very simple. I use some Old Bay seasoning as well as some salt. I have in that bag my King Arthur's flour, all-purpose flour. I think I used about a tablespoon, maybe a tablespoon and a half. I did not measure, I kind of eyeballed it. And then what I did was I had my eggs already in the bowl, and I did already mix up my eggs, and I threw in a little bit of seasoning as well in those eggs, some more Old Bay. And took those tails of the lobster that I did take apart, as you will see. I took them out of their shell completely, and I dipped them in the eggs, and then, because I'm doing this with one hand as I have the camera, I went ahead and placed them in the bag and just shook it, just like you would with fried chicken if you were trying to coat chicken in a Ziploc bag with some flour. And off I went. I put that on a cookie sheet type tray, and I just let them sit there for a little bit. You'll see that when I have it in the plastic bag, in the Ziploc bag, and I'm coating them, I am squeezing it a little bit, not squeezing it to like mush it, just lightly to get that coating packed into the flesh of the lobster, so that way it really adheres to it. I think that makes a big difference, and made a big difference here as well. All right, since I wanted my lobster tails to really take on the coating that I'm going to provide them with, which is the egg and the flour, I did pat them dry with a paper towel, and that way it'll make the coating stick to the flesh of this lobster a lot better. Oh my God, don't these look really good? I am impressed with the work that I just did to get the coating on these lobster tails. Since I forgot to buy my spray oil, I went ahead with a paper towel and put on some olive oil and just quickly wiped the tray around it with the oil so my tails don't stick. So because I don't have that spray oil, I went ahead and used dabs of butter and just placed it right on top. I mean, lobster and butter, those two go so well together. And you'll see that it does coat it very nicely. In order to cook the lobster, I chose the shrimp setting, which is more, I think, the seafood setting. And then I went ahead and adjusted the time to 5 minutes versus the 12 that it had. And then I kept the temperature at the same amount of time, which is 375 degrees. So I cooked this for 5 minutes at 375, and then what I did was I did it a second time and I upped it to 400 degrees and made it 6 minutes. That made the lobster cook perfectly, absolutely perfect and tender. Ooh, does this not look delicious to you? A little bit of butter and then a nice little salad, and oh my God, it was tender and juicy. Do I recommend fried lobster in the air fryer? Absolutely yes.